Hello my beautiful hammerheads and welcome back to another Black Library review, part 22, Gotrek and Felix Trollslayer. To be honest, this was going to be a Realm Slayer review, because I do not like stories based in the old world, because I want new stuff to happen, but there are so many hidden gems and callbacks to the old books that I thought, okay, I will give this a try. So I bought the audiobook version and I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. It's a very well written story, as William King books are, so there is nothing against that. It is a bit confusing because in the story it is the second book of Felix's adventures with Gotrek, and I was kinda scared that I bought the wrong book at first, but this is totally on purpose, so don't get confused like me. This is a pretty Tolkien Dungeons and Dragons sword and sorcery style of book, and that's not kind of my go-to for stories. However, I enjoyed it. The stories are funny, they're really dark, and a very good introduction for new hobbyists or new people in the Warhammer world on what are Gits, what are Chaos Cultists, and so on. At first, Gotrek and Felix are on their way to Karak 8 Peak, and after that they're on their way to Nuln, another city in the Imperium of Man, or the Empire, to be more precise in Warhammer Fantasy Battles. It is pretty easy to see that these are basically short stories and it's an anthology, but it's really not. It is one singular story, and certain parts are just being cut off. It's just like you do not need to know how they ventured from point A to B, because it's maybe just a cart ride, they were on a boat, or whatever. I can see how it is frustrating in one or two occasions in which so they're basically fighting against every Chaos God cultists, and one chapter is called Mark of Slanesh, so you know what they're up against. And the end is basically like, okay, now we do this. Then it's the cut. The next chapter is, oh yeah, and after we dealt with that. Okay, I can see how that is frustrating. But in the greater story, and we know that those two are going to do more stuff, more grand and enormous stuff, that this is okay. Yeah, it's just a footnote. It's just a chaos cultist, whatever. So for me that was okay, but this is probably because of hindsight and because of the knowledge in what will come in the future. My only gripe with the story is, in every chapter, Felix is standing there against the enemy, and he prepares his sword arm. And it's not word by word, it's I can't remember, I paraphrase right now. He pulls away his cloak and prepares his sword arm to grab his sword, I don't know. And it's every time, in every chapter. And I can see on how this whole story is written by Felix himself, and these are his first adventures with Gotrek. So, I don't know. It's kind of funny and it's kind of weird at the same time. There isn't really much information about Gotrek himself on why he did become a Slayer and what are his sins, or how did he get his amazing axe, but we do get the story on how did Felix get his amazing sword. So there is at least something. So for the greater story, it isn't as impactful as I hoped, but that's totally okay, because we know there are several books in the pipeline for me to read and review, or rather listen and then review. So I was just editing the video and it dawned on me that I forgot something to mention. There is so much German in this novel. And the audiobook version, which I have, narrated by Jonathan Keeble, he does a great job. He's pretty good at it. There are, of course, some things which, well, only a native speaker can do. But there is so much. As this is set in the Empire, of course, there is so much. But I did not expect even the simplest things, like it's not Mr. Felix Jäger, even his last name is German. It's Herr Mr. Jäger. Chapter 1 is Geheimnisnacht, which means it's the Night of Secrets. And so on and so forth. There's so much. And another thing which I really, really love is tie-ins with other novels. There were some Easter eggs for other things, but my favorite Easter egg was for the Genevieve series, because in one chapter Felix has a discussion with an old acquaintance of him, and he's just like, who talks like that? We're not in a melodrama like the one written by Detlef Sierk. So top points for that. Now back to the original. As you might have guessed, there are many things I enjoy in this novel, and another thing is Felix's age. He's 22, if I'm correct. Maybe I misremembered here, but in one chapter he met his first big love, and yeah, they basically have no interaction, and it fits perfectly for this young guy adventuring out, meets a woman, falls in love, and it's his first big love. So yeah, it fits perfectly, and I really enjoyed this because it just shows how immature Felix basically is. Because he still is. He was in school and accidentally murdered someone and got exiled. Yeah. If you are into these kinds of books, like I said, these Tolkien sword and sorcery, Dungeons and Dragons kind of style novels, then it's totally for you. If you're interested in who is Gotrek and his best friend Felix in the old world, in the world that was before he got into the mortal realms in Age of Sigmar, then yeah, that's why I started it, and I was reluctant at first. The first novel, I enjoyed it. I can't say more to it. There isn't much happening because, as I've said, every chapter they're fighting against something else. It's Korn cultists, Tzeentch cultists, Nurgle cultists, Slaanesh cultists, some Gits, and yeah. There was something else and I forgot. Oh yeah, I guess it was a regular sorcerer. I forgot. It doesn't matter because it's still funny and you get the story. So all in all, I give this book an 8 out of 10 notes in the Book of Grudges. So what are your thoughts about this book? Did I miss anything? Please let me know in the comment section down below. I am keen to know what you have to say. And while you're down there, do all the YouTube stuff because hitting buttons is fun. Have a great day, my friend. Stay fantastic. Stay hydrated. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.